to another week of the Coach Chris Hatcher Show. I'm your host, Kevin Blackwell, and of course, each week I'm joined by Samford head football coach Chris Hatcher. This past Saturday, the Bulldogs traveled to Kelton, Georgia to take on the University of West Georgia in a game that saw several lead changes. The Wolves scored twice in the fourth quarter and topped the Bulldogs 38-29. You know, Coach, you and I talked on the show last week about there was a lot of unknowns about this team that we're playing. I mean, they're coming into the FCS first game, new coach staff, lots of new players. We found out pretty quick a lot about this team, and I thought they played well, and sometimes you have to just kind of tip your hat to the other team.
No question, Kevin. I give West Georgia a lot of credit. They played extremely well. They were very coached. The one disappointing thing, I thought they out-physicaled us at times. But you got to realize this, West Georgia has a tradition of winning, and you know, they put together a really good roster. We didn't know much about them, but we also didn't know much about ourselves headed into the game. And going into when we scheduled this game, it was one of those kind of deals that I was a little nervous about when we scheduled having to go to their place, game one, opening night of FCS football. It just seemed like the football gods were in their favor. They got every break, but also I think they made the breaks go for themselves, and we messed around on a couple plays, and that ended up being the difference in the ball game. But again, tip my cap to those guys. They played a great game. We did not execute the full 60 minutes, and we come on with a very disappointing defeat.
All right. Well, on the day, Samford's offense racked up 465 total yards. Quincy Crittenden makes his first start for Samford since 2022 and was the only Division I quarterback this past weekend to throw for 300 and rush for 90. Quincy goes 24 for 41, 307 in the air with 2 touchdowns in the air, and then, of course, adds 90 yards on the ground with 2 more touchdowns, so 4 total touchdowns for Quincy. Coach, assess Quincy's productivity and his play on Saturday. I thought overall he had a good game.
He did. Well, you just read off the stats, and those are pretty good. A lot of quarterbacks would like to have those stats each and every week. I thought he managed the game well. It's been a while since he's been in some live action, dating back to the playoffs there in 2022. But he's prepared well. I give him great credit. He did an awesome job sitting behind Michael Hires and learning and knowing what to do. He does bring a different skill set than what we've had in the past, in that he is a tremendous runner. Of course, he made some mistakes we need to clean up, but all in all, you know, first game of the year, I thought that he did a good job and he played well enough for us to win.
Absolutely did. Well, I felt like a big momentum shift for the game took place at the end of the first half with the interception that Quincy threw in the end zone. Really one of his only passes that he wished he could have had back. And of course, they go right back down the field with the Hail Mary at the end. I thought that those 2 plays right there were monumental in the game.
There's no question, and if you look back, the first 2 touchdowns West Georgia scored were both on what we call specials, the regular fans call them trick plays, and they executed them perfectly. And then that sequence there at the end of the half was, you look back and that ended up being a pivotal point. We overcame that in the third quarter, which I was very proud of. I shouldn't have called a pass there going into goal line. We should have run it one more time before we tried to throw the ball. We were, under a minute at that time. And then they go down and throw a Hail Mary, and we just didn't really contest it, and that was kind of disappointed. So, there's a 14-point swing there to end of the half, but the bright side, we came out in the third quarter and actually took the lead. And at that point, I thought, well, here we go. And then we made a couple mistakes in the fourth quarter and couldn't overcome them.
Yeah. Well, Samford fans saw a different number 20 on the field this year. Micah Kelly graduate transfer from Toledo, saw his first action as a Bulldog on Saturday, averaging 4 yards a carry, adding 1 catch for 18 yards. Coach, I think Micah and DeMonte Witherspoon, the potential there, along with Quincy's ability to run the ball, really does give us some good options at rushing and running back.
It really does, and those were the 2 biggest question marks going into the season. who would replace Michael Hires and who would replace Jay Stanton. But I've been very pleased with both of our running backs, and we got a couple good young ones there too that you haven't seen yet. But right now, I do think that's a strength of our offensive unit.
So on defense, the Bulldogs gave up some big plays, particularly in the first half, but played better. Coach, I felt like as the game went on, particularly the second half.
I think we played on our heels too much, and they came out and did a lot of shifts and motions. Again, most of the film that we watched on them was from Ole Miss, where their offensive coordinator had coached before, so you wasn't 100% sure what you were going to get. And I just think we played slow, and they came out, hit a couple big plays, but I do think we settled in the second half, and we played well enough to win the game. The problem was the offense in the fourth quarter couldn't get anything going. So that was good to see us play better, make the proper adjustments. I think that'll bode well heading into future ball games.
Well, as expected, Noah Martin and Jaden Mosley contributed in a big way, both recording double-digit tackles. Also, another player that really caught my eye, Coach, on Saturday was number 29, C.J. Douglas. C.J. had 8 tackles. The last game of last year against UT Martin was the first game I really began to notice this young man. You could tell right there this guy was a player out of Leeds High School. Talk about what you're seeing in the development of C.J. and maybe some of the things that we might see from him in the future.
We were very excited to be able to sign him last year, and he had to earn his stripes, and he got more comfortable in the defense. And then, of course, that UT Martin game, we're thinking, man, this guy should have been the starter all year. He played a well of a game. And then the other night, he was our most consistent safety, and he's a physical player. He runs, plays with great confidence and energy. If you saw him practice, you would know why he's such a good football player. He practices every day about as hard as anybody on our football team, and hopefully the more reps and experience he gets, he could be an outstanding player here at Samford.
Well, we don't have much time to sit around and lick our wounds because the Bulldogs have a date with the Florida Gators this Saturday at 6 p.m. in Ben Hill Griffin Stadium in Gainesville, Florida. Coming off a 41-17 loss to Miami, both teams this week, Coach, are looking to right the ship and get a win. Talk about what you're expecting from our Week 2 opponent.
First of all, they're a tremendous football team, and they'll have the best group of athletes that will play all year. That doesn't need to be said. But our guys are excited. We're going to prepare well. We look forward to the opportunity to play on the larger venue. We don't get to do that but once a year, and be in the prime time. So it's an exciting time for us. We've had our ups and downs in these quote big money games. The last time we were at the Swamp, we had a chance to win there late in the ball game, but couldn't finish the deal. So again, it's all about us being the best version of ourselves that we can possibly be. We have I know a lot about their staff. Coach Napier does a great job. Russ Calloway's their offensive coordinator who played for me at Valdosta, coached with me at Murray, and here at Samford. He's a tremendous coach, one of the best that I've ever had and ever been around. So it'll be fun going against those guys, but all in all, it's a football game, and we got to get a little better this week than we were last week.
Well, they say your most improvement is generally between week 1 and 2. What are you looking to see an improvement-wise from Samford this week?
I just want us to have better execution and trust our techniques and the schemes a little bit better, and play more team football. And then the second thing is I just want to see us go out and be physical and play hard. I don't think we did that for 60 game minutes last Saturday, and that may have been the most disappointing thing that I could say about the game versus West Georgia.
Well, Saturday's game against Florida will be televised on ESPN Plus and SEC Network Plus. Kickoff again set for 6 p.m. Don't forget, there are still tickets available for Samford's first home game coming up on September the 14th against the Alabama State Hornets. You can find your ticket at SamfordTickets.com. Well, Coach, good luck on Saturday.
Thank you very much, Kevin.
And we hope to see you next week on the Coach Chris Hatcher Show.